What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's up? What's going on, brothers? What's happening? How you doing, brothers? It is Saturday night. Woo! It is Saturday night, brothers. What's going on? 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 I see you. I see you. I see ya. What's happening, brothers? Woo, 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 woo. It is Saturday night live, and my brothers, oh, we got to talk again tonight. We have to talk again tonight. I see your brother Joe's. What's happening? What's happening? Excalibur, what's happening? What's happening? What's happening? Welcome to Saturday Night Live. That's right. And we got to talk. Oh, my. We got to talk. Y'all brothers see the title. Y'all brothers see the title. Y'all see the title, brothers. Will Smith and the Dilemma of the Good Black Man. Will Smith and the Dilemma of the Good Black Man. What's up? 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 Let me know if you can hear me loud and clear. Just put one in the chat. If you can hear me loud and clear, just put one in the chat, my brother. Just put one in the chat. What's up, Ray Reynolds? Oh, man, I tried to stay away from this. I tried to stay away from this topic. I really did. 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 Good. Good. What's up? What's up? Afro Shop, Excalibur. I'm glad y'all can hear me. HLM, I'm glad that y'all can hear me. Here we go, guys. I hope that you brothers are having a wonderful weekend. This is Hallows Eve. Halloween, the eve of Halloween. This is October the 31st, 2021. Tomorrow is Halloween, and y'all know everybody gonna be out tonight doing their thing with their costumes and all of their get-ups. Yeah, but we are here tonight. What's going on, brothers? What's going on? What's going on? What's going on? I don't have no mask on tonight. I don't have no I don't have any garb other than this. What's happening, brothers? We got to talk tonight, brothers. I'm gonna call this Boogeyman Funk. That's what I'm gonna call this. I'm gonna call this Boogeyman Funk. You know, Halloween is all about the boogeyman, right? It's about the stuff all that scary stuff, all the scary things, the scary men, Freddy Krueger and Jason and Trick or Treat and everything else like that. But here we are tonight live. We got to talk tonight, brothers. We have to talk about the dilemma of the good black man. The dilemma. I'm loving it. I'm happy to see you guys tonight. What's up in the chat? I see you guys. We are doing it, brothers. We are doing it. We are doing it. We are doing it, man. Yeah. We got to talk about Brother Will Smith, man. We got to talk about Brother Will Smith and Jada Smith. We got to talk about the problem that black men deal with. The problem that black men deal with who try to be good black men. What's happening? The brothers who you want to be a good black man. You want to be a good black man. You've been told your life to be a good black man. And you have been juxtaposed against the boogeyman, the so-called, the proverbial black boogeyman. You have been contrasted to Ike Turner. Y'all know the mythology of Ike Turner, right? You remember that old crazy movie that came out back in the 1990s, 1993 called What's Love Got to Do With It? That was based upon Tina Turner's memoir called I, Tina. It was based on a memoir written by Ike Turner that was taken up by white directors and screenwriters who decided it was a good deal to tell the story of Tina Turner and her relationship with Ike Turner. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. Yeah, yeah. And all of us have been pitched as the boogeyman. The black man who was a deadbeat father, the black man who doesn't take care of his kids, the black man who doesn't know how to treat women right, the black man who was very abusive, the black man who was dangerous, the black man who was wicked and evil, the black man who doesn't know how to be a gentleman, the black man who, in American society in particular, has represented the very worst manifestations of masculinity, the worst manifestations of black masculinity in the United States. And you brothers who have long memory, and you brothers who you lived in families, you've lived around women who have talked about these proverbial men. You've lived around women, you've had them in your families. It could have been your mama. What's happening, brothers? What's happening? It could have been your sister, your big sister. It could have been your grandmama. It could have been your auntie or your aunties. And if it wasn't inside your family, it was somebody else's family. It was somebody's daddy, somebody's grandfather, somebody's uncle, somebody's brother, some other man, my brothers. And you heard these stories. You heard these stories. And I'm going to keep it real, brothers. I'm going to keep it real, brothers. I'm going to keep it real. You heard these stories, but not only did you heard these stories, thank you, my brother, Jarvis Thrasher 22. Yes, sir. We're glad to see you, brother. Not only have you heard these stories, my brothers, but you've known about the cases directly from firsthand experience. And you might have grown up with a sister. You might have grown up with an aunt. You might have grown up with a female relative. You might have grown up in a neighborhood where you saw directly the tensions between a black man and a black woman. You might have been raised like me, my brothers. You might have been raised like me, who was raised primarily by baby boomers, raised by black people who were born in the 1940s or born in the late 1930s, born in the early 1950s. Black people who were born, like people in my family, they were born before the civil rights explosion. They were born before Black Power. They were born. My people, y'all see this? Y'all see my shirt right here? This is Miami. My family is a family from Florida and Georgia. Florida and Georgia, the state of Georgia, southern. Oh, yeah. They grew up on farms. They grew up when black people had limited opportunities. They grew up before incorporation. They grew up before middle-class blacks. Black people who had college degrees were able to enter into the mainstream. They grew up before the era when black entertainers became mainstream. They grew up during a time when you had what you call the Chitlin Circuit. Ike and Tina, you know Ike and Tina, the Ike and Tina Review, that was a Chitlin Circuit review. Ike Turner was a blues man. He was a blues man. Oh yeah, yeah. Their parents had parents who knew slavery. They knew slavery. They knew Reconstruction. They knew what happened after the Civil War. They saw lynchings. They saw terrorism. They lived in poverty. White people didn't give a darn about them. White people didn't care about the black family. They didn't care about the structures of black families, the extended families, and all that kind of stuff. We're talking about black people who were living in the abyss of American oppression. What's going on? I see my brother. What's happening, Dr. J? Look at you, brother. I'm happy to see you in the house, my brother. I'm happy to see you in the house. That's right. That's right. That's right. That's right. We grew up in that era. I grew up in that era, my brothers. I got aunts who grew up in the era. I got aunts, yes. They had men. They married older men. They married men who were not too far from them in age. Those men, they drank, they smoked, they did all kinds of stuff. You know what I'm saying? Those men, they struggled. And they had tensions with their wives. They had tensions with their girlfriends. They had tensions with the opposite sex. Tensions that were shaped and conditioned by oppression. Oppression. That is right. That is right. That is right. That is right. And you know, there were some women in that era. There were some women in that era, brothers. They hooked up with men when they were young. They hooked up with men when they were 16. They hooked up with men when they were 18. They hooked up with men when they were 25. They hooked up with men and they had babies with those men. And some of the times the babies were not prepared. No one prepared for those babies. There was no contraception. There was no birth control. There was no IUD. There was no thing called the patch. There was no thing called Plan B. There was none of that stuff that existed during that time. I'm talking about my parents, my mama's generation. That's right, that's right, that's right. And what they had, and what happened, brothers, is that you had children that were born out of wedlock. And at that particular time, if you're talking about the 40s, the 50s, the 60s, and hell, even the early 70s, you were born out of wedlock. And if a woman had a child that was out of wedlock, she was shamed, she was ridiculed, she was sent up north. So if you were in Georgia and you were a young woman, you had a baby, and you were a teenager, you were sent up north. You were sent to Pennsylvania. You were sent to Chicago. You were sent to New York City, to Harlem somewhere, until you came of age, you became an adult, and came back for your child. And in the meantime, your child was raised by your mama. The grandmother raised the child. The auntie raised the child. The extended family raised the child. All of that. That's right, my brothers. That's right. That's right. And we children, we grew up in that. And we heard about our daddies. We were told about our no good, trifling daddies. Now, not every daddy was like that. Not every daddy was like that, but we heard the stories about them trifling daddies, and we heard, and we knew, and we saw it. And some of us, we grew up. Like me, I grew up because I was born out of wedlock. I was born out of wedlock. My daddy had no interest whatsoever in marrying my mother. I was unplanned, totally unplanned. They were together for a number of years before I even came on the scene, and there was tensions between my mama and my daddy once I was born. He did not want to be a father. My daddy didn't want to be a father. He didn't want to be a father to the extent that he wanted my mother to have an abortion. He wanted my mother to go somewhere and get rid of this child, because this child, me, Ronald Neal, is going to be an inconvenience. And what happened, my brothers? What happened, my brothers? There are some of us, we grew up, and this is the point of the stream. What's going on, brothers? What's going on? Y'all hit the like. I got 38 people up in here. I got 37 people up here. Y'all hit the like, y'all share, y'all subscribe, y'all do all of that kind of stuff. All kind of stuff. We grew up. I grew up in a situation, in a complicated situation, where I heard about these men, these bad men, these boogeymen. And I even seen some men who were not everything that they could be, men who struggled in their lives, men who struggled economically, men who struggled with alcohol, men who struggled with the criminal justice system in and out of jail, men who had no tools whatsoever, no psychological tools, no analytical tools, no therapeutic tools to help them cope with their lives and their problems. That's right, my brothers. That's right. I grew up with men that were just like that. My mama, she had 6 brothers. 6 brothers, 6 black men in my family, my brothers. And out of all of those 6 brothers, only one of those brothers, and all of them produced children. All of them produced children. Only one of those brothers got married and stayed married and was with his children until the day he died. And I didn't know everything about him because he lived in a different state, but he was the oldest brother. He was the oldest brother. And in my family, he represented the proverbial, he represented the good black man, the good black man, the black man who attempts to do everything right, the black man who strives. Thank you, Rock Run, for that 1999 super chat. Thank you for that, my brother. The black man who attempts to do good by his wife, by his children, by his community, his family. And why am I talking about this, my brothers? Why in the devil am I talking about this? Because we got to talk about Will Smith and his wife, Jada Pinkett, and we got to talk about black men and the dilemma of being a good black man. That's what we're talking about tonight. The dilemma of being a good black man, the black man who tries to do everything right. The black man who makes the effort and the attempt to speak to the emotions, to speak to the desires, the wants, the aspirations of the woman whom he is with. The black man who strives to be something different from what he has seen in his life. I want y'all to do y'all research on Will Smith. I need y'all to do y'all research on Will Smith. And when you do your research on Will Smith, I want you to pay close attention to what Will Smith has said in interviews. I want you to pay close attention to what Will Smith has said in public about his father and about the relationship between his father and his mother. And I want you to pay attention to the story, to the narrative of abuse that Will Smith has articulated. Let me tell you something. So Will Smith right now, my brothers, Will Smith has a film that's coming out right now called King Richard. King Richard. This is a film about Richard Williams. Richard Williams, who is the father of Venus and Serena Williams, the iconic, the impactful, the historic tennis duo. Two young Black women who have left their imprint on the world. And I want you to understand, my brothers, is that there's a reason why someone like Will Smith committed himself to the story of Richard Williams. I want y'all to go back to The Pursuit of Happiness. Y'all saw the film, The Pursuit of Happiness. The Pursuit of Happiness, the film that Will Smith did back in the early 2000s about a Black man and his son, a Black man who was committed to being a father to his son when the mother, the woman who he was married to, chose not to stay with him and to be with him as a wife, as a mother, as a family unit in relationship to his child. Y'all talk to me right now. And Will Smith, my brothers, here's the thing about Will Smith. Will Smith has been committed to the idea of the good Black man. I don't want to be like a deadbeat. I don't want to be associated with the mythology of the Black boogeyman. Let me say this again, my brothers. Will Smith has been committed to not being the Black boogeyman, to being a good husband, to being a good father, to being a committed father. Because he saw problems growing up, that is. Will Smith saw problems growing up. He saw tensions between his mother and his father. He saw his father being abusive to his mother. And he made a deliberate decision in his life, early young adulthood, that I don't want to be like my father. And I need y'all to let that sink in. As y'all analyze what's going on, we have seen over the past year and even longer than the past year, all these stories about Will Smith and Jada Smith and their open marriage. And over the years, we've seen them and their two children, and we have framed them as a Hollywood marriage. We have placed them outside of normalcy. We say that they're just weirdos. This is a Hollywood thing. Over the years, people have said all sorts of things about Will Smith. They called him gay. They called him soft. People have called him soft. They've called him weak and all these other things. Everything. Even though he's a superstar, even though he is a superstar, all sorts of things have been said about Will Smith. And I'm going to say to you, my brothers, that I'm not the biggest fan of Will Smith. So this is not a defense of Will Smith. I am not the biggest fan of Will Smith. So all sorts of things have been said about Will Smith. All sorts of things have been said about Will and Jada. They have been placed in the framework of Hollywood weirdos. I'm going to say it again. They have been conceived as Hollywood freaks. But what I want to say to you is that Will Smith has a core. Will Smith has a commitment that is born out of him being a black man, a commitment understanding what it's like to be a black man. I look forward to seeing this movie, King Richard. I look forward to seeing his depiction of Richard Williams, a black man, this black man who was singularly responsible for the success of Venus and Serena Williams. And I want y'all to pay attention to that narrative. I want you to pay attention to everything that has happened in the lives of both Venus and Serena right now in relationship to their father, Richard Williams. And I want you all to pay attention to the dilemma of the good black man. The dilemma of the good black man. And what, my brothers, is dilemma? I got 68 in the chat. I need y'all to like. I need y'all to share. I need y'all to subscribe. Cash App, $, BMI 3000. Cash App, $, BMI 3000. PayPal, Ronald B. Neal. PayPal, Ronald B. Neal. I need you brothers to pay attention to the dilemma of the good black man. When you go above and beyond to provide, to protect, and take care of women, it could be your wife, it can be your daughters. I'm going to say it again. It can be your wife, it can be your daughters, it can be the women all around you. When you have made these type of sacrifices, when you have made these commitments, when you have put your life and everything on the line, what happens often is you get a tidal wave of resentment. You get a tsunami of ungratefulness. You get a volcano of disrespect. That's what you get. And this is exactly what we are dealing with this scenario with Will and Jada Smith. We are getting resentfulness. We are getting ungratefulness. We are getting utter disrespect. When you go out your way to be this idyllic, good black man. Because the reality is, my brothers, is that although people will crap on and people will pathologize a black man for being a boogeyman, even though everyone will go around and say that black men are deadbeats, that black men are Ike Turners, that black men are violent, and black men hurt their women, all their women, their wives, their daughters, and every woman around them. When you attempt to be a good black man and you attempt to confound all those stereotypes and all those images, you are read as someone who is supposed to be taken for granted. You are read as someone who is weak. You are read as someone who is nice, someone who can be walked over on. You are read as someone who can be trashed. You are read as someone who you can go out into the public and say, just like Jada Smith, you can say any doggone thing that you want to say about that man. So you can have a Venus and you can have a Serena Williams who can be celebrated in the world of tennis. And when they are placed before the public and they are asked to say something about their accolades, when they are asked to say something about their status in the world, everything that they say is devoid of the Father's influence. Everything that they say eliminates and erases Richard Williams. So Serena got there by herself without her father. Venus got to where she is by herself without her father. Jada Pinkett Smith, she is out here more than 25 years. She has not has been a part of a hit film. Thank you, BP. Thank you, Ben RP, for that. Ben RP for that $10 super chat. You can be out here like Jada Smith and pretend and say to the world that who you are has absolutely nothing to do with who you are married to, Will Smith. That's it. Look at this, get out of here. I see the troll here. I know I'm gonna get these Mars. You going out of here. Goodbye, troll. That's it. Ungrateful. 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 Resentful. Disrespectful. Contemptuous. I can go on and on and on and on and on and on and on. Jada Pinkett Smith or Jada Smith ain't nothing without Will Smith. She's nothing without Will Smith. Period. Period. Her relevance, whatever relevance that she has, is because of her marriage to Will Smith. Period. Point blank. Thank you, Abraham T. Thank you, Abraham T. Thank you, my brother. And this is the dilemma, my brothers. This is the dilemma when you strive to be a good black man. When you have bought into this idea and this liberal notion of marriage, that even though you can be somebody like Will Smith, you are a superstar. You can be a superstar. It's a troll right here. You go on, player. You can be a superstar and your wife in no way can compete with you in terms of her achievements and y'all are both in entertainment, somehow or another, you got to go out your way to let the world know that there is no difference between you and her. As a matter of fact, you have to go out of your way to tell the world that she is beyond you, that she is above you, that she is superior to you, even though she does not have the record. She does not have anything that indicates in any kind of way that she can compete with you in the world, the professions that you both chose. They are both entertainers. They are both entertainers. Her record in film, her record in entertainment in no way compares to his. In no way. But she's resentful. She's in competition with him. She's contemptuous of him. She wants the world to know that somehow or another that she is above him, that she is superior to him. But if he divorces her, or even if she divorces him, there is absolutely nothing that can be done on her part to compensate for the deficits that she has in relationship to him. Will Smith is a superstar. Will Smith is going to go to his grave as a superstar, period. And she can't compete with that. And instead of coming to terms with that and living it and just benefiting and embracing the fact that she is one of the few people on the planet, few women on the planet who is attached to this mega celebrity, instead of just accepting that, what did she do? She craps on it. Thank you, Ray Allen. Thank you, my brother. She craps on it. Thank you, brother, for that super chat. And Will Smith has been a very generous man. Right now, his image, and here's the thing, I understand, I want y'all to get this, brothers. And as I watch it, I want y'all to get this. There's a perspective that says, well, maybe both of these, maybe Will and Jada are, working in collaboration and doing this, and this is maybe some marketing ploy, this is some capitalistic type of trick that they are engaging in, or what have you. But here's the deal. Why Will Smith, why would you participate willfully in something that would defame your image? Why? Will Smith is one of the most image conscious celebrities out there. He is one of the most image conscious celebrities out there. Why would you deliberately participate in the defamation of your own image for the sake of some type of gain, financial gain, social gain down the road? Why would you do that deliberately? It doesn't make any sense to me. So the perspective that says that this is just some marketing ploy, this is about making money, this is about capitalism and all that, that perspective is kind of weak. And the reason why that perspective is weak is because this is defaming his image in the world. This is a low blow. So last year we found out about this situation with August Alsina. We find out that she was out there. We know that they have an open relationship and what have you. And they talked about that scandal, that situation publicly on that Red Table Talk program. And they wanted the world to know that, you know, they have this open, unusual marriage. But at the end of the day, I don't care even if it's open or not, they are still contractually bound to one another. There is still issues of respect. There is still issues of mutuality. There are still issues of privacy. Privacy. So I don't care how open the marriage is, there are certain levels of your intimate union relationship that the public should know about. And to take a low blow, to take a blow beneath the belt, to talk about this man's sexual prowess or lack thereof, is to engage in high levels of defamation. Because you know the public mythology about men, and you know about genitalia, you know about fertility, and you know about prowess, and you know about impotence or the lack thereof, and you know what that means with respect to men. When you start talking about men's genitalia, and this has nothing to do with being insecure, it has absolutely nothing to do with a man having a certain level of value on his penis. But you know what you're doing when you go low. You know exactly what you're doing when you go that low and you talk about sexual performance or the lack thereof. This is your husband. This is the man that you're currently married to. This is not an ex-boyfriend. This is not a jump off. This is not Alice, August Alicina. This is not somebody else. This is the man you married to. And brothers, this is the dilemma. When you don't, here's the thing. A lot of you black men, a lot of us black men, we overcompensate. A lot of us black men have attempted to overcompensate. A lot of us black men have worked real hard to be better than our fathers. A lot of us black men have seen the limitations of our fathers. And we know that our fathers, they were short-circuited by the time that they grew up in. They were short-circuited. And I'm going to be straight up with you. Yeah, there are deadbeats. Deadbeats do exist. There are men who are tyrannical. There are men who are ballistic. There are men who are just off the chain. There are men who are out there who are just reckless. For whatever reason, these guys are reckless. They don't care. They will destroy themselves and they will destroy everything around them, including women. Those men do exist. No one discounts them. No one says that these men do not exist. What's going on, brothers? But some of us go overboard. Some black men go overboard in trying to be a good black man. Some black men go overboard in trying to be a nice black man. Some black men go overboard in attempting to be a gentleman. As a matter of fact, you have some black men who go so far, they might sign up with the feminist camp and they might call themselves male feminists because they are trying to be some type of a good black man. because they are trying to correct the wrongs that their daddies did in their minds to the mamas. Because they got the mama in their head. They believe that the mama was wronged. They believe that the aunties were wrong or their sisters were wrong. They believe that the women in their families were wrong in some type of way, and they have gone overboard. They have overcompensated in trying to correct the wrongs of the men who came before them. And that's what you get with Will Smith. You sit around here and you listen to women and you listen to what women say about men, and you listen to what a woman says about what a good man is. You listen to what her definition of a good man is. You listen to what she says about what she believes a man is supposed to do in relationship to her, how a man is supposed to treat her, how a man is supposed to protect her, how a man is supposed to provide for her, how a man is supposed to offer her security, how a man is supposed to speak to her emotions, how a man is supposed to talk to her, how a man is supposed to be vulnerable, how a man is supposed to be empathetic, how a man is supposed to cater to her every desire and aspiration. You listen to that, and you listen to that for years and years and years and years and years, and you absorb that, and that becomes the basis for you being or becoming a good black man. And what happens invariably, my brothers, what happens invariably in these relationships when you work at being this good black man and you strive to live out this vision that this woman has put within your psychology with respect to what a good black man is, women oftentimes, not all the time, but women oftentimes will crap on your efforts. What's going on, my brothers? We got 95 people up in here. Y'all like, y'all share, y'all subscribe. If you like this work right here, if you like this intellectual work, my brothers, and if this brings value to you, hit that Cash App, $BMI 3000, Cash App, $BMI 3000. Hit that super chat, hit that super sticker, hit the PayPal, Ronald B. Neal. And that's the reality, my brothers. We overcompensate. And some of you brothers will go to church or have gone to church, and you hear these preachers, these black preachers, you hear these pastors talking about no good men, and you hear these black pastors telling you and preaching to you on what you're supposed to do and to be to these women, and they quote scripture and they preach at you and they pathologize you, and you walk up out the church, you are in the pew, and they're making you feel guilty and they're making you feel shameful, and they're condemning you so that you will go out there and be a superhero, that you will go out there and be some Superman to someone who, at the end of the day, will not be grateful for your heroic efforts. She would disrespect you. All you got to look at Jada, my brothers. That's all you got to look at right there. This woman has everything in the world. This woman has everything in the world, my brothers. You got a woman who has You got a woman who has everything in the world, everything that any woman could imagine. She has a fantasy. Will Smith is a fantasy man. He is a fantasy black man. They live in luxury. They have children together. And that's the other thing. They have children together. And this person is ungrateful. This person is unsatisfied. This person is unhappy. You give this woman the entire world, and what does she do? She goes out into the world, and she craps on you. I want you to go into Google, and I want you to do a Google search, and I want you to look and find as many videos and interviews of Jada Smith, and I want you to look for the times where Jada Smith has expressed any type of admiration, any type of respect, any type of reverence, any type of love in public toward her husband. I want you to do that. You go to that Red Table Talk. You go to every time that she's talking about Will Smith, and I want you to look and pay attention for the times where she has shown her husband in public any respect, where she has shown her marriage any respect, that she loves him and that she cares for him and that she feels fortunate to be with this man. And that this man has given her a life. This man has given her a life that her mother couldn't even imagine. She lives a life that is 1,000,000 times better than her mother. Her mother, who was a recovering drug addict, a recovering person who has experienced abuse in poverty in Baltimore, Maryland, the whole DMV area. Her mother can't imagine being with a man like Will Smith. And see, brothers, I got to put a generational twist on this. Because Jada and Will are in their 50s. We all belong to the same generation. We belong to the same generation. We belong to the same generation. I belong to her generation. We belong to this. I share the same generational script that she does. And she is the reason why a good number of black men from my generation chose not to get married. There are a good number of black men. We dealt with that personality type. We dealt with that archetype. There are some of us who have never been married, like myself, but never been married. Because we didn't want to settle down with that type. We didn't get married because we wasn't gonna go as far as Will Smith in trying to prove how good a man we are to ourselves and to the world. I'd be doggone. I was never gonna do that. Not at the expense of my self-respect. Not at the expense of my own image. I was never gonna do that. I don't care how pretty she is. I don't care how pretty she was. I don't care what type of currencies that she had. But if there's no mutual respect, it ain't gonna happen. And I will confess to you, my brothers, I was one of those black men. I was a black man. I've been a black man. I don't want to be like my father. I don't want to be like my father, my brothers. I never wanted to bring any children into this world out of wedlock. Never, 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 never. Never want to be a baby daddy. I never want to be a baby daddy. I never wanted to be like some of the men who my aunts were a part of. Never wanted to be men who beat on women. Never wanted to be that. And I didn't want it. I never wanted to be with women who were a part of that, who grew up in that. I've dealt with women like that, but I never wanted to attach myself permanently through marriage to women like that. But you got some brothers who went the distance. They went so far as they got married. They got married to women like Jada Smith, and those brothers are divorced right now. And if those brothers are not divorced right now, those brothers have been living in misery with these women who have had nothing but contempt for them, nothing but disrespect, nothing but ungrateful sentiments towards them. And it's a tragic thing. He was liberal. This is what happened. You being a liberal, and black men, here's the thing, black men are socialized to being liberal. Black men are socialized to being accommodating. Black men are socialized to being generous. Black men are socializing to being open. Black men are socializing to giving women a whole lot of room. We are socialized to give because we were raised by women, because of a lot of us were raised by women and around women, socialized to give women lots of room to engage in a lot of BFF. BFF. If y'all don't know what BFF is, y'all need to go see Obsidian Mumia Ali. Obsidian will tell you what BFF is. They will tell you what BFF is. You give a lot of room for BFF. Now, if she's around a white man, when she's around a white man, or she's dating a white man, or if she's married to a white man, she don't have a whole bunch of room to be engaging in BFF. She don't have the kind of room that black men give them. Now that BFF might come out at some point after she done had some babies with these men. But she not relating to these men exclusively in the way in which she relating to black men. And these are the dilemmas, my brothers. This is the dilemma that you are dealing with, my brothers, when you strive to be a good black man. And see, all of this puts some perspective on these other boogeymen, these so-called boogeymen. It puts a perspective on them. It puts a perspective on the so-called Pookies and the Ray Rays and all that kind of stuff. So yes, Jada's fixation with Tupac and all the Tupac stuff, it puts that stuff into perspective. If Tupac truly represented that image that he had out there, and what y'all got to understand about Tupac is that Tupac was an actor. Y'all got to understand that everything that Tupac put out in the world was not a complete and thorough representation of Tupac Shakur. What y'all got to understand that a lot of that thug stuff that Tupac was doing back in the early 90s, a lot of that stuff was performance. A lot of that stuff was acting. A lot of that stuff was trying to prove something. Tupac was trying to prove a lot of stuff when he was out there like that. Tupac was trying to gain a lot of acceptance from black men. That's what y'all got to understand about Tupac. Tupac was trying to reach a certain sector of black men. Tupac was trying to reach a class of black men that many people deemed unreachable. And so Tupac couldn't always be out there being the lover boy. He couldn't always be out there too emotional. He was trying to save black men, and Tupac, in his mind, in order to save this particular sector of black men, he had to become like them. He had to do the thug life thing. So a lot of that stuff wasn't really in his deep, it really wasn't his core. He did I Get Around. I Get Around. That I Get Around, that really wasn't at his core. You got I Get Around and you got Brenda's Got a Baby. Brenda's Got a Baby was his core. I Get Around was something else. But it was the image of the thug, it was the image of the street that everybody gravitated towards. And it is this image, unfortunately, that has captivated the minds of too many generations of women. Too many. Across class, not just the women at the bottom of society, not just the ratchet women who grew up in projects, but also the women who were in college, the women who were in professional schools, who were in law schools, the women who got PhDs, the women who are working in corporate America. They love that thug psychology too. And they respond to it. And they respond to the worst manifestations of it. And some of those guys are not striving to be good black men. Some of those guys are not trying to overcome the legacies of their fathers. So that's why black men, thank you, Ducati Roche. Thank you, sir, for that. And so, brothers, what happens, thank you, sir. What happens, my brothers, is that these thugs, they represent something that's destructive that these women respond to. And what happens, my brothers, is that people like Jada Pinkett Smith and her fascination with these guys, they come together and they end up destroying each other. They end up destroying each other. Because here's the thing, Will Smith saved her. Will Smith saved her from her base desires. That's what he did. And that's what happens with these good men. You good men, when you reach into this, when you reach into these women's and their in women's cultures, these women who have not been shaped in a certain kind of way, These women who only respond to thuggery and violence and masochism, what happens is that you are fundamentally saving them from their base desires. You're trying to add structure and discipline and order and stability that they've never had in their lives. And what happens is that you can have some of these women, after you have rescued them, some of them will be grateful. They understand that you help bring them into a different world and help them enter into a new orientation about life, and they will appreciate it. But then you will have the others, when you bring them into your world and you give them that structure, that order, and stability, they still have that negative programming from the past, which they have not discarded, and they will crap on you like Jada Smith. They will crap on you. That's just some real, that's real, my brothers. This nice guy thing, that's the thing, brothers. This nice guy thing, brothers, y'all got to put this stuff in perspective. This good guy, the good black man, the good black man thing. They don't they don't value the good black man. The vast majority of these women out here, they don't value the good black man. They say they want a Will Smith. They say they want a Will Smith. That's what they say ideologically. That's what they say rhetorically. But if they have the opportunity to be with the Will Smith at some point in their interactions, they are going to act in an adverse way in relationship to Will Smith. Because they have not been programmed to appreciate him. They have not been programmed to appreciate the extent to which he has worked on himself. They have not been programmed to understand what it takes for a man to willfully and to deliberately decide to not be a tyrannical boogeyman. To not be like your father, to not be like your brothers, to not be like your uncles, to be something different, to not be like Ike Turner. So what happens is they meet the good man, they meet the proverbial good man, and what happens? They call the good man soft. You soft. You weak. You lame. I'm going to say it again. You are soft. You are weak. You are lame. We can walk all over you because you a good guy. Or you clean cut. We can just run roughshod all over you. They don't know anything about your family history, anything that you have seen in your life. They don't appreciate the work that you have put into yourself. And they think that they can just walk all over you like a doormat. I was on the lead attorney stream the other day. I wasn't going to talk about this, brothers. I wasn't going to talk about this. I was on the lead attorney. Y'all know the lead attorney, right? The lead attorney did a stream last week where he interviewed. The lead attorney did a stream last week where he interviewed a lawyer. The lead attorney is a lawyer. And he interviewed another lawyer, a female lawyer. And they had a conversation about relationships. And I don't know how familiar with y'all are with the lead attorney, but the lead attorney, very popular YouTuber. And if you look at the imagery, when y'all look at the imagery of the lead attorney, and if you look at how the lead attorney conducts his live streams, the lead attorney is a generous man. The lead attorney, you have a black man who comes on YouTube. He wears a suit and a tie. He is sitting in his office. He has a book-lined office. You can see his degrees. You can see his law degree. You can see his bachelor's degree. You can see his certifications on the wall and everything. And he's talking about the court, family courts, criminal courts, and what have you. And the lead attorney opens up his stream. The lead attorney opens up his YouTube platform for everybody. Now, here's the thing. The lead attorney created his platform for the sole purposes of empowering men. But the lead attorney has opened up his platform to everybody. So when you go to his YouTube page and you watch his streams, he will drop his links, and he will invite all sorts of people into his stream, particularly women, to talk about issues that impact men. And the lead attorney performs the proverbial nice guy. He is the nice guy. He is the proverbial good black man. And what happens when the good black man is liberal? What happens when the good black man is accommodating on YouTube? And I talked about this in my one of my most recent live streams. What happens when that happens is that the sisterhood uses it as an opportunity to go ballistic, to go ham on the good black man. And the reality is, my brothers, is that when you do this good black man stuff and you do this nice guy stuff, you need to be prepared for people to crap on you. When you don't have restrictions, when you don't have boundaries, when you're trying to be accommodating, when you're trying to be over accommodating to everybody, you're going to get crapped on. And what we're seeing with Will Smith is the crisis of the good black man, the black man who gets crapped on. when you were trying to represent some type of ideal of a man, the ideal of a husband, an ideal of what a father is, and the person that you are with, your wife, the mother of your children, she has absolutely no respect for what it is that you were invested in. And more importantly, she doesn't care about the public perception, the optics of everything that you are invested in. I got 103 people in the chat. I got 103 people in the chat. And brother, here's the thing, brothers. I'm not saying, I don't want y'all to get what I'm saying twisted. I'm not saying that you need to become the opposite, that you need to become the bad guy. You can do that now. You can be, but you do that at your own peril. I'm not telling you to become a bad guy, nothing like that. But what I am saying, brothers, is that you can never satisfy these people. You can never satisfy these people. That's why you cannot pay attention. You cannot pay attention to the media, the female media, and what the female media tells you about what women want. You got to be critical about that kind of stuff. That's why you had to be critical of what the women in your family done said. Your mama, your aunties, female cousins, everything else. You got to be critical of all the stories that you get about these bad black boogeyman men. You got to be critical of all that kind of stuff. You got to be your own man. There's nothing wrong with not wanting to walk in the same footsteps as your father. I think, my brothers, it is a good thing for you to not, if your father lived a life full of deficits, if your father had a lot of shortcomings, if your father lived less than an optimal life, yes, it makes a lot of sense for you to not walk down the same path as your father. But you got to be careful, my brothers, with becoming too obsessed with not being like your father. Don't become overly fixated with being a better man than your father. Because if the truth be told, you were never privy to all of the details, all of the circumstances, all of the information surrounding your father's choices, and your father's life. You don't have all that information, so you got to be careful. A lot of you brothers out here, you will have worked hard to be good black men. You got married and you still got divorced. You went out here, you tried to be a good black man, you tried to be a good father to your children, and your children still went out here and still absorbed anti-black male ideology. You got black men out here who are good fathers who have to deal with daughters who have no respect for them. You were a good man. You were a good father. You provided for your daughter. You made sure she had a roof over her head. You made sure that she was clothed. You made sure that she was safe and she was protected. You did everything to ensure that your daughter had an optimal life. And now your daughter is a full-blown adult and she has no respect for you whatsoever. And that's real. And I know men like that. The children don't respect you. You try to be a good black man and your children don't respect you because they've absorbed all this corrosive stuff about black men in society, and they have these unrealistic expectations about your relationship to them. They've been corrupted by the mamas and everybody else. I think it's a tragedy, my brothers. I think it's a tragedy that Will Smith has to deal with such public embarrassment. And it's a tragedy for any black man who has to deal with that type of embarrassment. When the person that you're with, she go out there and she tells your wife gonna go out and tell all her friends about your personal business. You know how painful that is? You're with a woman. And that's why you gotta vet people. And you gotta watch people, brothers. You gotta be careful. If you with these women and they got friends, they got girlfriends, and every single thing that you do with her, every particular move that y'all make, wherever y'all go, every conversation that y'all have, she got to take that to her girlfriends. Her girlfriends got to know about it. They got to know. Her girlfriends have to approve of you. You're not valid. You're not valid in her eyes unless her girlfriends give their stamp of approval. That's crazy. Or she got to show her girlfriends that she can one-up you. That's absurd. Brothers, we are past the 1 hour mark. But I wanted to come out here. What's going on, brothers? I see you, Buki. Shout out some of you brothers out here. I see you, brother. I see all the brothers out here. I see you, Buki Kamal. Peace to you, bro. Ryan James, I see you, brother. I see you, my brothers. This is what we're dealing with, my brothers. I don't want you guys. We don't need to overcompensate. Christopher Clipper, I see you, my brothers. We got too many folks too many black men, young black boys grow up trying to be better men than their daddies. Young black boys grow up trying to be the men that they think that their mothers deserved. And a lot of times they never ask the question of what really went down between my mama and my daddy. They never asked the question. But this is exactly what we do. We raise these questions. This thing with Will Smith is not just limited to Will Smith and Jada Pinkett. This stuff is pervasive. That psychology that Jada Pinkett Smith has, it's all over the place. It ain't just limited to her. And she has the kind of psychology that prevents men, that gives men no reason to get married. She has the mentality that gives men absolutely no reason to consider matrimony. I told you she's from my generation. I've seen it I've seen it in my generation. And I had absolutely no interest. I don't care how pretty she is or how pretty she was back in the day. I wasn't gonna talk. We're not doing it. We ain't getting married. We're not getting married. If there's no respect, if you're gonna go out here in public and you're going to defame my name, if you're going to take my, let's say I got shortcomings, you're going to take my shortcomings, or you're going to take my deficits, and you're going to tell the world about my shortcomings and my deficits, making me look bad. There's no reason for me to be with you. Because here's the thing, brothers, if Will Smith went on a rampage, if Will Smith went on a campaign and talked about her inadequacies and talked about her shortcomings and talked about what she doesn't do, he would be called a wife hater. He would be called a misogynist. He would be called sexist. He would be called everything but a child of God. If she went out there and did all the things that she's doing, if he went out here, if Will Smith went out here and did everything that she is doing, that's just real, my brothers. I want to thank all you brothers for throwing in the cash apps, PayPals. I know some of you brothers prefer to be anonymous. I'm not gonna call your names, but I'm gonna say I thank you for your cash apps and your PayPals and your super chats and everything. But this is something that's real, my brothers. We have to move beyond this good black man thing. And we have to teach young black men, that they don't have to live out this burden, especially if it comes at the expense of their reputation, if it comes at the expense of them being respected as human beings and being treated as dignity. If she cannot respect the quote unquote good black man, let her die alone. Let her die alone. If she thinks that the good black man is lame, if she thinks that the good black man is weak, if she thinks that the good black man is too nice, let her die alone. Anyway, my brothers, I'm going to wrap this up. I'm not going to stay here too long, my guys. I'm happy that you all were with me this evening for this stream. I hope that you got some value out of this stream. This is what we do here, my brothers. This is what we do here on this YouTube channel. This is about black men's independence. This is about black men's empowerment. This is about black men's agency. This is about the issues that face black men. And this situation right here is about the image of black men, the defamation of black men, People think it's not just about Will Smith. This is bigger than Will Smith. This is about the defamation of the black male image. And you have people out here, women who think this is a joke, and they just hee ha ha he he. It don't mean nothing. Ha 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 ha. There are women who are dismissing this stuff right now because they don't care about the image of black men. Oh, y'all too sensitive. Y'all taking this too seriously. No, you are comfortable with misandry and the hatred of black men. Thank you, Rock One. Thank you for that, my brother. We are serious about this. Anyway, my brothers, we got them going on. Thank you, my brother. Ben RP, thank you, my brother. Thank you for that. The image of black men matters. Don't you align yourself with anybody who has no regard for your image, who has no respect for you. That includes your family members. I will not deal with family members. I will not deal with people in my family who have no basic respect for me. I don't deal with any black people, any white people, green. Yeah, I don't care who they are, gay, lesbian, straight. No. And you don't have anything to prove to them. You don't have anything. We don't have anything to prove to them. We don't have to prove our worth to these people. All right, brothers. I want you guys to enjoy what's left on your Saturday night. If you're going out, you guys be sure to be safe. Watch out for all the dangerous elements and what have you guys. It's Halloween weekend. You got to be careful out there. A lot of crazy people out there. People in masks. You don't know what folks, you don't know what these people are doing out here with these masks on, brothers. You got to be careful. You got to be careful, my brothers. So be safe. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, guys. And I will see you all on the next live stream. Take care. Peace out. BMI, BMA, and BME.